Hello, welcome to the second of a three-part webinar series featuring the early adopters of Kepner-Tregoe Foundation. My name is Connie and I'm a product manager at ITPreneurs based in the Netherlands. I'm delighted to be joined by two speakers, Peter Kennedy and Shellina Damji. Peter is an IT expert with more than 20 years of experience in various capacities in the IT industry. He is based in Virginia and he is one of the first KT Foundation trainer in the United States. He's going to share with you his experience and success with the KT Foundation. I would also like to welcome Shellina. She is a practice leader at Kepner-Tregoe. Her primary focus is on managing relations with global strategic clients, including Cisco, IBM, and HP. She will discuss some case studies to show the KT process in action. I will conclude with some information about the cooperation between ITPreneurs and Kepner-Tregoe and also the trainer certification program. So I would like to invite Shellina first to talk about Kepner-Tregoe process in action.
Hi, my name is Shellina Damji, and as Connie said, I am the practice leader in Kepner-Tregoe, and I'm happy to speak to you today about two case studies we have, one with regards to incident management and the second with regards to problem management. The first one, incident management. This is a client that we worked with. It's a large consumer retail client in their IT back office space. What we did with Kepner-Tregoe in the engagement that we had with them, we first did an initial assessment to baseline their metrics and to analyze their incident management environment. We also conducted both foundation and advanced level training for a pilot group within that client base. We integrated their processes, Kepner-Tregoe inside their processes, and supported that for a couple of weeks. We also performed integration support with regards to performance system management and also supported that for a couple of weeks after. We also, in addition to that, coached their people, the end users of those that took the foundation and advanced training, and we supported them and guided them in their adoption of the methodology. As a result of that, the clients, after 3 months of engaging with us, were able to get some drastic improvements in their mean time to resolve. You can see there's, with the pilot implementation that we did over a 3-month period, their MTTR was reduced from 27 hours to 7 hours. So at the end of the 3-month implementation, with those pieces of the things that we've just talked about, Kepner-Tregoe was able to help them speed up their time to resolve or time to restore. The other important results in incident management is consistency. Not only do you want to get to resolution or restoration quickly, you want to get to everybody using the process and methodology in a consistent fashion, and you want to sustain those results. So we also tracked variance, and you can see over a 3-month pilot, the variance was reduced from 86 hours at the beginning of the project to 20 hours at the end of the project. If you look at the second piece of the graph on the bottom right, you will see that the first scatter graph shows what the variance looked like at the beginning of the project and the second scatter graph shows what it looked like at the end of the project. So you can see consistency was huge in these results. Within the problem management space, we've worked with many clients. One particular client I'm going to talk about was in the telecom space. And again, as you can see, KT first went in and conducted an initial assessment to baseline our metrics and analyze the support environment. We also conducted, again, both foundation and advanced level training for a pilot group of people. We developed in-house program leaders, that is, train the trainers, as well as we developed their own in-house process coaches. We also integrated KT into their processes and supported this. And that included changes that they needed to make to their case management tools. We also supported them in their integration of KT into the performance system. And we provided coaching support as well to the end users as well as to management for 6 months from the beginning of the start of the project to the end of the project. Within those 6 months, we had several communications that were very clear that we helped coached management towards in order to create a cultural change. As a result of this engagement, at the beginning of the project, you will see that the time to resolve decreased from the start to the end in a 6-month time frame. And this graph is important to look at because within that 6-month period, this particular client was undergoing a high growth in their environment. So as you can see, we really looked at 2 different groups. We measured their time to resolve to actually come to a conclusion in terms of finding root cause of the problem of the issue and fixing it so there were no repeat problems at the same time. So at the beginning of the project, Group 1 was dealing with approximately 51 calls as their average, and it took them about 44 days to close those calls. At the end of the project, their call volume went up to 115 calls, and they were able to reduce the time to resolve to 27 days. So again, significant difference. If you look at Group 2, you'll see the same thing. The red is what we were looking at, what we baselined at the beginning of the project. They had a call volume of 135, and their time to resolve was 22 days. At the end of the project, their call volume went up, and they were able to resolve it in 13 days. Now, we also did head count, so, because people always ask us, yeah, so, how many people did they add in those 6 months? Group 1 added 3 people, Group 2 added none, 0. So again, not discounting that, they had extra people with the extra call volume that they had, you can still see a significant difference in time to resolve. The other result or measure that we also looked at is case quality, because not only is it important to get to resolution, it's important to document and start off with good quality information so you are able to resolve things as quickly as possible. And again, you can see at the start of the project, the pie graph on the top left-hand corner, the pie graph on the bottom right-hand corner is what we saw at the end of the project 6 months later. You can see at the beginning there was only about 14% of the cases had good organized detailed information in them. About 11% had some basic details but not very well organized. You can see at the end of the 6-month period after implementing the KT methodology, we had about almost 35–36% really good quality documentation. 27% was basic information, But what was drastically improved is the number of cases that had no documentation. At the beginning, there was 45% that had almost no documentation to them. You know, we would go in and we would take a look at this client, and we found that, you know, they talked, they said, you know, we got some emails going back and forth. Somebody did some magic, you know, waved a magic wand, and voila, you know, the problem was solved. So there was no documentation at all. Towards the end, at 6 months, you can see that that percentage dropped drastically. So we had a lot of good quality case information that was put in. That also helps with knowledge management for those who are interested in that. The other piece, not only is case quality important, but within the case quality, it's important to realize that you need to have a good quality problem statement. At the start of this particular project with a client, what we look for when we look at case quality around problem management is that there is a clean, clear, precise statement of exactly what's going on. What has the defect or what has the deviation, and what that deviation actually looks like. Those are the two pieces of information that's extremely important in problem management when you're looking at trying to solve a problem and to find root cause. We found over time that having a good, clear problem statement can all by itself reduce your time to resolve by 18%. Because if people understand what they're looking, what the problem is, they know the kind of data to go look for around that particular problem. And you can see 6 months later at this same client that we looked at, the problem statement, the quality of the problem statement increased drastically. At the beginning of the project, 57% of those cases that actually had any information at all had what we would call single object, single deviation without, and we gave them a lot of benefit of doubt. If they had a particular problem statement that had a single object, single deviation, we gave them credit for that. At the end of the project, we measured it according to how, what the KT definition is of single object, single deviation, that is good quality problem statements, and 98% of those cases that we looked at had good quality problem statements, which in and of itself you can see can help reduce time to resolve. So though in a problem management space, there are some key metrics that are important that we are able to drastically improve. Here's some results that we've been able to achieve at some of our clients who've given us permission to name them. First is, you know, we do impact customer satisfaction. Yes, there are other variables that impact customer satisfaction, but KT has also shown that if people are using the KT and adopting it, they are able to impact customer satisfaction. And we've seen that in the clients that are listed there, up to about 90% improvement in customer satisfaction as a result of using KT methodologies. Also, time to resolution is impacted, and in these clients we were able to impact these by about 50%. We were also we also can impact backlog, because if it would make sense if your time to resolve is decreased, you increase capacity to then we're able to handle backlogs. Also, some of the backlogs are repeat problems, and once you are able to resolve an issue, the problem will not come back. Hence, backlog drops too. The next metric also speaks to that, first time fix rate. By getting to resolution, to finding root cause of the problem and putting in corrective actions, you reduce repeat problems, hence you increase your first time fix rate at the same time. And we are able to impact that by up to 40%. As a result of that, customers are happy. They get good quality customer experience, and they're also coming back with feedback to the clients saying, you've done something great, you know, you're handling our problems and issues, in a consistent fashion, in a speedily fashion, and you seem to know what you're talking about. So the overall customer experience also improves drastically. And last but not least, KT is recognized by ITIL as best-in-class approach. So that in itself also in a problem management and incident management space speaks for itself. Some of the benefits that some of our clients have experienced in a problem management space specifically, this was a couple of our clients who have spoken with us at different conferences have come out and said these. And specifically, I've put these down because they've come up over and over again. Focus on clarity of understanding the customer's concerns. If you understand the KT methodology, it's a very simple way of getting the customer's concerns out in the open and clarifying them to see the big picture. So you get accurate information from the very start. The value of good questioning skills, again, relevant data, factual data comes in early, therefore you're able to resolve the issues earlier as well. And sometimes clients solve their own issues by answering their questions that with good questioning techniques that you provide them with these questions. They come to a realization and awareness of what could be happening in their own environment and hence solve their own issues. There's also the value of a common language, a common methodology, everybody speaking the same language. It's easy for individuals to know how to solve problems if they're the only one solving it, as they can systematically go through it in their own heads. However, when they get together with other people, suddenly what they think they cannot articulate, and therefore communication breaks apart. So the value of a common language ensures that handoffs are clear and concise, and also that the people are reviewing the information in the same manner, and the same information is being reviewed without asking for the same pieces of data over and over again from a client or from a customer. Also, KT has helped clients show the delta between the current work and the work in progress, so they can see where the gaps are, and then they can easily close those gaps. Time spent up front can save you time in the long run, and we've seen that over and over again. Yes, KT takes a little bit of time up front to gather information, but in the long run you are saving money because you're not running around trying to fix something over and over again because the first time fix didn't work. And that's really the couple of client stories that I wanted to share with you with regards to how KT has been able to help their clients.
Thank you so much, Shellina. One of the great things about KT that is proven, it really works with a lot of concrete statistics to prove that. So thank you very much.
You're welcome.
And I would like to invite Peter to share with us his personal experience with Kepner-Tregoe Foundation. Peter.
Thank you, Connie. Thank you, Shellina. Very good to be here with you guys today. It is a pleasure, and I am Peter Kennedy, a consultant for ITSM Resource, an ITIL expert and trainer, and also a KT trainer. So a number of years ago, I was working in ITIL and kept coming across this best practice that was called out in operational support and analysis in particular, Kepner-Tregoe. And I thought for a long time about it, that wow, here I am taking the opportunity to share with people a best practice that I don't know enough about. So that was what really led me to looking into Kepner-Tregoe a little more deeply. And about that time, there was the partnership between ITpreneurs and Kepner-Tregoe that became formed and became real, and the KT Foundation course started to emerge. And I had a real interest in understanding the KT processes to a deeper level. There were things that I talked about, but I didn't really know about in a great deal of with a great deal of clarity. So I looked at it really as, first off, understanding to a deeper level the KT processes and what I really meant when I was talking to people about ITIL and about leveraging these best practices that were called out. So I looked at it as a personal challenge, really, to more deeply understand the value that KT provided. And also, as I thought about Kepner-Tregoe, I thought about the opportunities to extend beyond the traditional consulting engagements and the traditional markets around IT that I had been engaged in. One of the things that I found out very on about Kepner-Tregoe is it applies very broadly into all kinds of markets, manufacturing organizations, companies that create traditional products that you might shop for. So there are all kinds of applications. And I wanted to move beyond just focusing on a lot of the IT organizations. Certainly IT service management is a very key part of what I do, but I wanted to see it expand beyond what I was comfortable with and move into some different markets. I also saw it as the opportunity to differentiate myself from some of my competitors and ultimately to maintain more relevance in the dynamic marketplace. So I definitely saw some opportunities in becoming a KT trainer. So thinking about those things, I ultimately made the decision that I was going to pursue this. Very important thing for me personally. Reflecting on my experience with the Train the Trainer in Kepner-Tregoe, I want to say it was an absolutely extraordinary experience. It was something unlike any Train the Trainer course that I'd ever been through. We've got a bullet on here that says it's a significant investment of time, and that's almost an understatement. It is absolutely a very demanding investment because it's intense, but that speaks to the quality of the course material and the fact that both ITpreneurs and Kepner-Tregoe take the content of the course and the quality of the delivery in the course as very important and hold it in high esteem and of high value. The TTT itself was hands-on. It was a practical TTT that helps develop me as an instructor in a professional manner. You have the opportunity to experience firsthand what it's like to deliver the course. And the KT course itself is very complex, very challenging. It's not like the average ITIL course. It's not the death by PowerPoint that you might get in a lot of the traditional IT courses. It's a very intensive, hands-on type course that is really poetry in motion as you see the content come together through specific examples and the use of the systematic teaching methodology. And that TTT really drove the quality in the course delivery and seeing the expectations that were set both from ITpreneurs and from Kepner-Tregoe. It was an absolutely unforgettable experience and one which I have to think that I will remember for the rest of my life. Certainly, absolutely a great experience for me in going through that TTT. The opportunity I had when I first delivered my first KT classroom course, and by the way, we're recording the session right after I'm in the middle of a delivery of a KT course right now. So as I say that it's exhausting, believe me that it absolutely is a challenge to the instructor. The KT course really is unlike any course that you will deliver. It is so much fun and it is so intensive for the instructor. You really have to be prepared. You have to know what you're doing. It relies a lot on flip charts. We're actually making the easel boards relevant again in offices. I mentioned that it's like a dance, or as I mentioned before, poetry in motion. Really, you have to stay very coordinated, and the effort that it takes to successfully deliver a course is really paramount. You move back and forth between topics using the systematic teaching methodology to ultimately provide great value and make it relevant to your customer, and it really does require some intensive preparation. It's not the kind of course that you can cram for the night before and think that you'll be okay moving through it. And in the course, you're actually able to apply the KT processes. And I love to see the lights go off in the students' heads as they see how they can apply this to their organization, as they see the power of processes like situation appraisal or problem analysis or decision analysis or potential problem analysis. And ultimately, as you go through the exercises, they get it. It becomes real to the students, and it really is a tremendous thing to see from an instructor perspective. It shows that you're actually delivering some value. So thinking about the value that KT has had for me from a professional standpoint and also personally, from a professional standpoint, I really wanted to become a KT instructor and have that additional credential. It provided some credibility to me and ultimately separated me from my competitors in the market spaces. That differentiator that ultimately I think has won me some additional business. Using the application of those processes during consulting engagements has really been beneficial, particularly as you utilize those questioning skills that KT teaches, as you apply the situation appraisal process. Really great value in ultimately getting information out of people that they didn't even know that they had within them. And it's been of extreme value on a professional level, but also personally, I've been able to apply some of these processes in my own life. And I really have a sense of accomplishment for what I've achieved in becoming a KT instructor. It's changed the way I think about things, and that's kind of a strange thing to say, some might think, but really it makes you think differently about thinking. Using the rational thought processes has been tremendous in my own personal life, and certainly dealing with people in the relationships. Just the relationships that I have with people has been very, very beneficial to me. And ultimately, as I've applied these processes through the course of my personal and professional life, I've become much more aware of things that are going on around me, particularly as we look at things like situation appraisal or problem analysis. Even when you get into things like potential problem analysis, and it's changed the way that I prepare for delivery of courses, not just in the KT space, but in the ITIL space as well. So a lot of value that it's had to me on a personal and professional level. When it comes to marketing KT, one of the things that I've done and we've done at ITSM Resource is we've worked with a number of different customers that we've handled in the traditional ITIL space to show the power of the KT processes, targeting those customers for additional training opportunities around KT. I kind of look at it in a lot of ways as providing some real significant emphasis behind their problem and incident management processes. I put it here as rocket fuel for problem and incident management. And I think, as Shellina showed us on the slides that she presented, that it really is a great process, or it has a number of great processes within it that really moves your problem and incident management processes to the next level. But for us, it has also meant that we can move beyond some traditional ITSM type customers. IT service management is great, but this opens up some additional markets that you can work within. I think it's been very beneficial for us as we've looked to leverage the KT processes in other organizations as well. One of the things that I really, really like about KT is the systematic teaching methodology. As you deliver the course, there's a very structured way in which you do it, and KT has done a lot of research on making sure that the learning process is effective for the learners. And one of the things that it did for me is I had to reflect on the way that I was delivering some of the other courses that I delivered, the ITIL courses that I deliver on a frequent basis. I had to think about how I could better do that. After going through the KT GTT, I really had to reflect, and it's really taken my teaching in other areas to another level. I've leveraged that systematic teaching approach during other courses, particularly in ITIL, to make sure that we really do demonstrate the power of other processes in other courses as well. And in a big way, I focused a lot on building that relevance for students, regardless of what the course content is, just to make it real to them and show them how they can leverage the power of processes within their organizations.
Okay, so I guess this comes to the end of your talk, Peter.
Yes, Connie, thank you so much for allowing me to share a little bit about KT. I really appreciate it.
Well, I appreciate that. On behalf of ITpreneurs, I really want to thank you because it is really valuable for a lot of the trainers out there who are considering to join this year's trainer certification program. And by learning from your personal experience, that will definitely help them to make the decision. So I will conclude with just a few more slides regarding the partnership between ITpreneurs and Kepner-Tregoe. The partnership started last year, actually, and the Kepner-Tregoe Foundation course. Here is the overview of the two-day course. And you can really tap into your existing network of ITIL learners. And it is an exclusive opportunity for you. As Peter also mentioned, it helps you to differentiate yourself in the market. And you can complement your current training portfolio with a best-in-class products. And apart from that, this year we'll also be launching 2 advanced courses after the KT Foundation. So there will be upselling opportunity for ITpreneurs partners. So this is showing you that we have the Kepner-Tregoe Foundation course, and then looking at development of the professionals, they can further their training into the problem management area and also the incident management area. So the Kepner-Tregoe Foundation course, that's delivered by ITpreneurs and partners. And for the advanced workshop, it will be delivered by Kepner-Tregoe, and we'll have the opportunity to sell into these courses. So very interesting for you. And to take part in the trainer certification program, to build the capacity for you, for your organization, to be able to deliver the Kepner-Tregoe Foundation training, it is a 5-day classroom TTT, together with a 3-hour virtual learning, and finally with a 2-day checkout, which is your first classroom teach, with the support of Kepner-Tregoe Master Trainer. And I want to mention that before starting the TTT, you're also required to complete the Kepner-Tregoe Foundation course and pass the exam. So Peter also mentioned that it is an intensive TTT, but extremely beneficial. So the trainer certification program will be delivered by Kepner-Tregoe Master Trainer. For information on how to sign up for that and pricing, you're welcome to contact your ITpreneurs account manager, or you are welcome to send me an email. My email address is there. More information on the Kepner-Tregoe Foundation course and on the trainer certification program can be found on our website at itpreneurs.com. So this comes to the end of our webinar for today. I would really like to thank Peter Kennedy and Shellina Damji for their contribution to this session. And I wish you a very nice day. Thank you.
Thank you.